Being a builder, you would have seen the issues with our housing crisis. What are some of the changes you would make to ease the pressure across the construction industry? Okay, great question. One we muted about 4 years ago was actually freeze on immigration, so net zero immigration for a while, which has actually happened under COVID. Because what that does is reduce demand on housing, and then as housing builds, then our stocks go up, and when our stocks go up, that provides more housing for people. When we have high immigration and yet low house building, the problem is there's more demand than supply, and so the rates go up, and the immigrants that come in have to have enough money to support themselves so they can afford housing. And that just means the poor in New Zealand just drop off the bottom. And that has been the issue in New Zealand. That's why we have a housing problem. So actually, putting a limit on immigration for a while, our housing stocks come up, that's one part. Building more houses, that's another part. But to enable that, we need cleaner processes. It takes a long time to get a consent, get all the plans done, get it through council, get through all the RMA questions. It just takes a lot of effort. And particularly for developers, they put a huge amount of time and energy and money into something, continually having to go back for different questions and resolve or meet different issues, and that just pushes the price up. We've got the most usable land per head of population, I think, of anywhere in the world, apart from Australia, but there's a sort of like desert. So we've got a huge amount of land. It's just so expensive to develop here. So we need to make rules around our urban boundaries, like if you've got undeveloped land, it should be developed. There should be pressure on people to develop it, while still protecting farmland and green spaces, of course. And then it comes up to the quality of build and the cost of materials of building. So our quality standards in New Zealand are quite low. We could do a whole lot better, and there's a whole lot of innovation happening overseas that I've been seeing, and it's fantastic stuff, which would mean we use less energy. You know, we can build more energy efficient houses that use less energy. Surely that's a way to go forward. Better quality houses that mean people are living in warm, dry, healthy homes with clean air. And I'm really passionate about that. I love the whole idea of building passive and that style of building. So we can build better quality, but the cost of materials is a big thing. You know, some materials that we produce in New Zealand are cheaper overseas, and there's a real issue with that. And it's hard for us to bring new products into New Zealand. You know, some of the products, when you bring a new product in, it's got to get co-marked or brands appraised. They cost tens of thousands of dollars and can take up to 6 months. And because we're just a small market, it's not economically viable. But then because we don't have these other materials, the few materials that are here can be really expensive because there's no competition, again, supply and demand. So we need to make it so New Zealand accepts the certification of other Western nations that we agree with. So Europe and Americas, where they have certifications, says this product is fine for use in this zone, we should accept it rather than have to do all the testing again ourselves, all the time delays, all the extra money, and the restricted supply which pushes prices up. So there are a whole lot of things we can do, we've got some others coming up in our economic policy. Next week, we're going to release our economics policy, so make sure you tune in then, and there's a whole lot around housing on that as well. So be here next week and we'll release our economics policy for you. Do you think councils need to have better communication when it comes to consenting? It's pretty tricky for councils too, because they've got a set of rules that they